Morning, teachers and students. My name is Seo Kyoung Mo. Today, I'm going to do my presentation in English since I'm not that good in Korean. And I'm going to present you guys a TED Talk on what is DNA. The topic is maybe hard for some people, so I wish that everyone can focus and keep up until the end of my talk. Let's start. I know that you guys should have heard the word DNA in science classes. I know that teacher should have explained about DNA several times. But think about it. Do you actually know the function of the DNA? Everybody should have the idea that the DNA is very important. But why? Why is DNA so important that we can't live without them? That's why I'm here. I'm here to explain the functions and the importance of the DNA. DNA is an acronym for deoxyribonucleic acid. To give a short explanation about DNA, it is the blueprint and the recipe for a living thing. A living thing could be humans, animals, insects, anything that you can imagine and consider as a living. What I'm trying to say is that DNA is one of the basic building blocks of life. Now you know what a DNA is, then here comes the real question. How? How does the DNA make up our bodies? Why is the DNA so important that we couldn't live without them? Before answering a question, let me explain a brief summary on how our human bodies, or the bodies of the living things are made to give a background knowledge. This is the process on how our body is composed. First of all are the amino acids. Amino acids are chemicals that are the basic building blocks of life. These amino acids are compounded with each other to make up proteins, which are molecules that do crucial roles in our body. These proteins build up cells. Cells, as most of you know, are the smallest biological unit of all living things. These cells develop tissues. Then, the tissues make up organs such as heart, lungs, intestines. When these organs work in harmony, finally we have our body. The body could be a human body or a body of any living thing. Back to the amino acids. In the presentation PPT, I wrote down the definition and function of what amino acids are. You can read them by yourself, but the important point is that there are a total of 20 types of amino acids in our body. Therefore, these amino acids could be compounded with each other into billion types of proteins in our body. So at this point, you might be wondering, why am I talking about this? Why is this so related to DNA? What is the function of the DNA in this process? I said that there are billion types of proteins in our body, right? However, our body needs a certain type of protein in a certain point. Without this, our body cannot function in a proper manner and it will eventually break down. The protein should be in perfect order of amino acids to do the right function. This is where DNA does its job. DNA is the hereditary material that helps the amino acid to form the right protein. DNA lives inside the nucleus, as you can see in the diagram. The nucleus is the red part inside the cell. However, the amino acids live in the cytoplasm, which is the white portion inside the cell membrane. As I told you that amino acids are in need of DNA to form the proper protein, amino acids should interact with the DNA. However, there's a distance between DNA and amino acids. So, some chemicals copy the DNA to send its information to the amino acids. These copies are called the RNA. This process is very complicated, so I'll stop here, but if you're a fan of biology, I highly recommend you to research about this process, since it is a very fun topic. Now, we have the information from the DNA about the sequence of the amino acids. Then, the RNA transfers this information to the amino acid to formulate in the ribosomes to make up proteins. The ribosomes are these rice-looking organelles inside the cell membrane. After this, various kinds of proteins are formulated and they now go to different parts in our body and do their tasks. This process may be a very complicated one for most of people. So, to give a summary, DNAs are the molecular blueprints for a living thing. These DNAs are copied to make up RNAs. Then, these RNAs create protein from amino acids. And protein creates life, meaning anything that you can consider as a living thing, such as you, your family, friends, your pet, so on and so forth. And that's it. Now you know what a DNA is and its job in our body. I hope you enjoyed my talk and thank you for listening.